Zoom Proctoring Guide for Accessible Testing Proctors. Short video on how to create a Zoom link. On the next slide, you will find a video tutorial for creating a Zoom link for an exam proctoring session. Once you create the Zoom link, please email it to astesting@csueastbay.edu. How to create a Zoom link for accessible testing. You search for CSUEB Zoom, you sign in using your NATE ID and your password. Schedule a meeting. Change the topic to the course and the course number, accessible testing, and the date of when the exam will take place. Select when the exam will take place, the time, the duration of the exam. Leave meeting ID as generate automatically. Video host on, video participant on. Allow participants to join anytime. Please type in Accessible Testing Coordinator's email as alternative host, Accessible Testing Assistant Coordinator's email. Save. Copy invitation. Copy invitation. Create an email from your work email to astesting@csueastbay.edu. Paste the invitation and send. Thank you. If you have any questions, please contact us. Before exam begins, Accessible Testing will email you and the student with a Google Calendar invite for the day of the exam. This invite will include the testing information about the exam, including the Zoom link. Make sure that you're not proctoring for a class that you are or will be enrolled in. You are never allowed to proctor an exam that you will also have to take. The proctor and the student are scheduled 15 minutes before the exam begins. Use this time to check your internet connection, webcam, mic, and etc. Arrive on time. Please make sure that you are in a quiet environment. Day of the exam, check-in. 1. Log into Zoom meeting. 2. Ask student to show their Bay card or photo identification. 3. Ask student to put cell phone behind where they are sitting. Only approved resources are allowed on the desk. Ask student to show their desktop and surroundings with their webcam. 4. Review testing conditions with the student. If the student states they are allowed something, such as notes or a calculator, and the email doesn't indicate this, contact Accessible Testing Coordinator or check the information in Blackboard. 5. Tell student to close all applications and browser tabs except those needed for the exam. The student may be approved for an accommodation like read the web. Remind them they are not to access outside materials during the exam. Only resources approved by the instructor or their accommodations may be used. 6. Ask them to share their full desktop screen and to leave their audio and webcam on at all times. 7. Ask the student if they would like a 10-minute warning. 8. Once you have finished giving the instructions, give the access password if needed so the student can begin the exam. During the exam, ensure you are in a quiet environment prior to starting your proctoring session. Put your cell phone on silent. Please mute your audio when you are not speaking. Typically, as soon as you are done providing the student with the exam instructions, mute your mic and turn off your video. If during the exam you cannot adequately see a student's work area, Ask the student to reposition their camera. During the exam, do not leave the Zoom proctoring session at any time. Check on the student frequently. If the student has a question about the exam for the professor and there's a number on the email, you can call and put the student on the phone. If there's no number, contact Accessible Testing so that they can send an email to the instructor. Keep a close eye on time and give the students a 10-minute warning period to the end of the exam if they ask for it. Protocol for student with unapproved resources. You are expected to stop the student immediately if you see any unapproved resources, suspicious activities, notes, cell phone, smartwatch, etc. Notify the student that this is not allowed and will be reported to professor. Allow the student to continue with the exam, however, without the unapproved resources. Before student continues with the exam, you must make sure to write down as many details as you can by filling out an incident report for unapproved resources. Student and Proctor Bathroom breaks. Proctor's break. You are entitled to take a 15-minute break for every 4 consecutive hours worked. For exams that are scheduled for 6 or more consecutive hours, you will be scheduled for 1/2 hour unpaid meal break. Please inform Accessible Testing staff when you need to take a break, so they are able to join the proctoring session in your absence. Meal breaks should be scheduled in advance. Student break. If a student needs to leave the proctoring environment, please remind them that they are permitted no more than 5 minutes. Note the time they leave and return in your notes. After the exam is completed, you will be scheduled to end your shift 15 minutes after the exam is completed. Please keep track of the time. Once the exam is finished, please email astesting@csueastbay.edu with the following information: student name, course number, professor, date, time student started exam, time student completed exam, including breaks taken, if any. How did everything go? Any suggestions for future exams? Any issues that occurred? Any distractions students faced? Specialized testing accommodations. When working as a reader, read exam questions as written in the exam to the student. Do not offer clarification or answer student questions about the written exam. When working as a scribe, write clearly what the student dictates to you. Do not paraphrase and do not advise or make suggestions to students. Make sure to always confirm written, typed, or drawn work with the student before submitting an exam. Curse or read the web. If Curse was not reading correctly or experiencing technical issues, ask the student if they would like for you to read the questions out loud to them. Here's a screenshot of how it would look on the student's screen when using Curse will read the web. The student would log in using NetID as username and last name for password. Accessible Testing staff are here to help. We appreciate your time. Thank you.